Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, imagine this for a sec. You've got this brilliant idea for something visual. Maybe it's a killer social media ad, right? Or a quick explainer video for your latest product. Or, hey, even just a cool little animated GIF to make your brand pop. But then, reality bites. The software looks super complex, takes forever to learn. Animation, hours and hours of work. And the budget, well, let's not even go there sometimes. For such a long time, getting visual ideas made just felt like this huge, often really expensive mountain to climb. But what if? What if there was a kind of shortcut, a way to zip from that idea in your head to a pretty high-quality video, almost like instantly? Today, we're doing a deep dive into something that's maybe quietly really changing how we create, AI-powered video generation. And we're zooming in on one specific tool, Vidu. It's an app that's aiming to put that exact power right in your hands.
That's exactly right. Yeah, Vidu is really built, with creators, with content producers firmly in mind. Its main goal, fundamentally, is to empower you, to give you the tools to easily make really creative, compelling video clips, basically turning that idea, that concept you have, into something you can actually see and share.
Okay, so that's our mission then for this deep dive. We're going to really try and unpack Vidu. We'll dig into what it actually does, its core functions. We'll weigh up the really cool advantages against some of the, let's be honest, real-world limitations, and hopefully help you figure out how a tool like this could maybe slot into your own creative process, help you make visual stuff faster, more efficiently. So let's pull back the curtain. What is Vidu actually doing? What are the sort of core features, the superpowers that make it stand out?
Well, at its absolute core, Vidu takes different kinds of input, could be text, could be images, could even be like a specific style reference, and it uses its AI smarts to transform that into a dynamic, visually interesting video clip. It's running on some pretty advanced generative AI, the diffusion models, maybe like the ones you've heard about for making AI images. But these are specifically trained to understand and crucially generate sequences of frames. So it brings your text or your picture to life with like simulated movement and even a sense of physics.
Wow, okay. That's pretty cool. So just to get this straight, if I had an idea like, show me a futuristic city skyline at sunset, but with flying cars buzzing around, I could just type that sentence in.
You absolutely could. Yep. That's its text-to-video feature in action. And it's not just about basic keywords either. It's more about how detailed your descriptions, your prompts can be, and then how well the AI actually interprets those complex ideas.
Mhm.
It lets you kind of refine entire visual stories just by tweaking the words you use. Then you've got image to video. This is where static pictures get, well, animated. You upload a photo, Vidu adds movement, makes it into a short video, trying to convey the idea that's sort of inherent in the image already. But then, and this is where I think it gets really interesting for certain people,
Okay.
it's the reference to video feature. This lets you upload reference images, maybe it's a specific character design you have, or an object, or even just a particular look and feel for a scene.
Yeah.
And Vidu will generate new video content, but keep it incredibly consistent visually with those references you provided.
Oh.
Yeah, so think about keeping the same character looking exactly the same across like 10 different short videos.
Mhm.
That kind of visual consistency. I mean, imagine the time saving for, say, an agency doing a social campaign with one mascot character. Or maybe an indie animator wanting to quickly try out ideas without redrawing everything. It really frees you up from the repetitive stuff to focus more on the story, right?
That does sound like a huge boost for just getting things done efficiently. Are there other ways to get started besides feeding it totally new stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Vidu also has a pretty big library of templates. These are like pre-made styles or structures. You pick one that fits your idea, maybe plug in a little bit of your own text or image, and boom, you get a polished, modern-looking video with basically just one click. It really helps speed things up, especially if you're maybe not sure where to start visually. So just think about all the ways you might have an idea, right? A written description, a photo, a character sketch, even just a vibe you want. Vidu gives you a path, a direct route from that initial spark straight to a video output.
Okay, those features individually sound pretty potent.
Mhm.
But, the real test is how they actually help creators in practice. So moving beyond just what it does, what what are the big wins here? Why is Vidu catching people's attention right now?
Right. Well, there are definitely some compelling advantages, things that tackle those common frustrations head on. First off, ease of use. That's a big one. They've clearly designed the interface to be user-friendly, so it works for people just starting out with video, but also for pros who just want something faster for certain tasks. And that directly links to fast creation. You can generate pretty good quality videos really quickly. That's a massive productivity boost. We're talking about maybe taking something that used to take days, like animating a simple explainer and potentially getting a first draft or even a usable version done in an
Quick
afternoon.
afternoon. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a game changer for small teams or solo creators, surely.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
especially people like, social media managers who are constantly under pressure to produce content. And then there's the output quality itself. It can produce detailed and high quality videos. You also get a decent amount of customization. You can usually tweak things like the style, you know, photorealistic, animated, whatever the duration, the
So
resolution.
you have some control. It's not just potluck.
Exactly. You have levers to pull. And this all leads to quite a lot of content variety. You can make different kinds of stuff depending on whether we start with text, an image, or those references we talked about. What's really fascinating, I think, is how all these points together just dramatically lower the barrier to entry. Making videos isn't just for the specialists with the fancy software anymore. It kind of democratizes it. Oh, and they usually offer a free trial too with credits.
Credits, like tokens or something.
Yeah, basically tokens that represent the computer power needed to make your video. So you use up credits each time you generate something. But the free trial lets you try it out, see if it works for you before you pay anything. Plus, they seem pretty committed to continuous updates, always adding new templates, new effects, trying to keep the tool evolving.
Okay, it sounds genuinely revolutionary in many ways.
Hmm.
But, and there's usually a but, isn't there? With tools this powerful and new, there've got to be some wrinkles. What are the sort of practical catches, the frustrations maybe that people might bump into, the stuff that maybe isn't shouted about in the ads?
That's a really important point. Yeah, expectations need to be managed. It's powerful, but not magic. For instance, those limitations of the free plan we just touched on, they can be quite significant. Often you're really restricted on how many videos you can make, or maybe how long they can be, like super short. And if you want longer videos or higher resolution, you'll likely burn through those free credits very fast, which leads you towards a paid subscription. And the cost of that subscription, well, it might be a bit steep for some users, especially freelancers or hobbyists.
Right, so that super fast creation could end up costing you quickly if you're iterating a lot or need longer clips.
Precisely. You need to be mindful of the credit usage. Another common thing is the short video duration. Like I said, the default, especially on free plans, is often really short, maybe just 4 seconds. Getting anything longer usually means paying up. And while we said it can make high quality stuff, the variable video quality is a real factor. Results can be a bit unpredictable sometimes.
How so? Like blurry or just weird?
Sometimes both. Because the AI is essentially imagining the video based on your instructions, it's not always a perfect, literal translation. Think of it like briefing a very creative, maybe slightly eccentric artist. Sometimes they nail it, it's genius. Other times, it's a bit strange, unexpected. You might get something amazing, or you might get a character with 3 arms, or I don't know, a cat suddenly flying through the scene for no reason. It reminds you that it's still an AI figuring things out.
Huh. Okay, so realism isn't always guaranteed, and the AI's creativity can sometimes go off-piste. Does that mean Vidu is maybe better suited for, say, quick concepts and trying ideas out, rather than the absolute final polished video? How does it fit into a typical workflow?
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, that's often its sweet spot right now. While you do get customization options, the limited customization compared to, traditional video editing software like Adobe Premiere or Final Cut means it probably lacks that fine-grained frame-by-frame control you need for really high-end detailed work. So, yes, it's fantastic for rapid prototyping, for banging out social media clips quickly, visualizing ideas, maybe creating moving concept art. It's about knowing where this tool fits best in your overall creative toolbox. It's incredibly fast for certain things. Also, practical point. It's usually web-based, so there's a reliance on a good internet connection. No connection, no video generation. And lastly, even though we said it's easy to use overall, there can still be a bit of a learning curve for beginners, especially in figuring out how to write effective prompts, how to talk to the AI clearly, or how to use those reference images effectively to get predictable results. It takes a bit of trial and error, and this all kind of raises that bigger question, doesn't it, about balancing the sheer potential of AI with where it is practically right now, and understanding its best use cases.
Okay, that's a really helpful dose of realism. So we understand the power, we understand the potential pitfalls. Let's say someone listening is intrigued now. They want to actually try it out. What are the first steps? How do you actually start using Vidu to make something?
Okay, yeah, the actual process is generally pretty straightforward. First step is just accessing Vidu. Usually you just open your web browser, type in Vidu AI, find their site. Or if they have a mobile app, search for it in your app store, download it, install it. Pretty standard stuff. Then you'll need to sign up or log in. You'll probably create an account email, maybe link your Google account, that sort of thing.
Right, standard setup, get the account sorted. Then what? Once I'm logged in, staring at the dashboard, where do I click first?
Yeah, once you're in, you'll usually look for a big button that says something like Create Video or Start Creating. Click that. Now you get to the crucial part. Input content. This is where you tell the AI what you want. You'll probably see a few main options. One will be for a text prompt. That's where you type your description, futuristic city, cat riding a skateboard, whatever. You might see some helper buttons too, like enhance prompt. Maybe the AI suggests better wording, or an inspire me button for random ideas if you're stuck.
Okay, so type in my idea. What else? You mentioned images.
Right. You'll likely also have an option to upload a reference photo. That's for guiding the style, or like we said, making sure a character looks consistent. Or the third main route is often using their templates. You can browse through a library of pre-designed video styles and pick one that matches the feel you're going for.
Got it. Prompt, reference, or template. And after I've chosen my input, is it just go?
Almost. There's usually an optional step to customize settings. Don't skip this if you want more control. This is where you can tweak things, like the visual style, general realism, or maybe a specific animation style they offer. The duration, remember, often defaults to short, like 4 seconds on free plans, but you might be able to select longer if you're paying or using credits. You might also see settings for motion range, like how much movement do you want, and definitely resolution, the video quality. Once you've set those how you like, then you hit the button usually says create or generate. And just keep an eye on your credits. You'll see them deducted when you click that button.
Okay, makes sense. Input, tweak settings, generate. And then presumably, I see what it came up with.
Exactly. That's the next stage. Review and refine. The AI will process for a bit, then present you with the video it created. You watch it back, see if it matches your vision or if it gave your cat 3 tails. If the quality seems a bit low, maybe the preview is low res, you might see an option to upscale it, make it higher definition. Just be aware, upscaling usually costs more credits. Once you're happy, or as happy as you're going to get with that version, you can usually save it to your account, often in a section called My Creations, and download it or share it from there.
And if I burn through my free credits trying to get it right.
Yep. That's when you'd need to look at their paid plans. Subscribing typically gets you a bunch more credits each month, maybe unlocks longer video durations, higher resolutions, potentially more features too. You know, if you connect this whole process to the bigger picture, it really shows how these AI tools are weaving themselves into creative workflows. They're making tasks that used to be really complex, needing specialist skills, much more accessible to, well, pretty much anyone with an idea.
So wrapping this up then, what's the bottom line here? For you listening right now, maybe you're that creative person needing quick content, or a marketer chasing visuals, or maybe you're just fascinated by new tech. What does Vidu represent?
I think it's fair to say Vidu is definitely a powerful and, yeah, pretty innovative tool in this whole AI video space. It's
Yeah.
clearly very useful for generating visual content quickly, efficiently. It really does make a complex process much more approachable for a much wider range of people than ever before.
And that brings us to a final thought, something maybe to chew on. As these tools, like Vidu, get even better, even more accessible, how does that change what it even means to be a video creator? Is it going to be less about the painstaking pixel-by-pixel craft and maybe more about the art of writing the perfect prompt? About becoming an orchestrator of AI? Dreaming up scenes that used to need a Hollywood budget? What kind of completely new visual stories might emerge when making something complex is potentially as simple as typing a sentence? Definitely something to think about as we watch this space evolve.